Some machines refuse to fade with time. From the battlefields of World War II to modern wars, these tanks crossed eras, doctrines, and generations. Upgraded, reused, and reborn, they kept fighting long after their creators moved on. This is the story of every tank that fought in multiple wars, from global war to global tension. Let's start with World War II, through to the Cold War and post-war conflicts. T-34/T-34-85. First proven in World War II, this tank reshaped armored warfare with sloped armor and battlefield mobility. It returned to combat during the Korean War and later fought across multiple Arab-Israeli wars. Few tanks in history have influenced so many conflicts across such a long time span. M4, Sherman introduced during World War II, this tank became a symbol of Allied mass production. It fought again in the Korean War, later serving extensively in Arab-Israeli conflicts and Indo-Pak wars. Its adaptability allowed it to remain relevant long after its original design era. Churchill tank built for breakthrough operations in World War II, this heavily armored tank emphasized protection over speed. It later saw combat in the Korean War, where rugged terrain tested its design. Its long service highlighted the durability of infantry tank concepts. M26 Pershing, entering service late in World War II, this tank bridged the gap between wartime designs and Cold War armor. It returned to frontline combat during the Korean War, facing newer Soviet-designed tanks. Its performance marked the transition toward modern main battle tank doctrine, defying age and era. Moving on to the Cold War tanks serving in modern conflicts. T-54. Introduced at the start of the Cold War, this tank became the foundation of Soviet armored power. It saw combat across multiple Arab-Israeli wars, later fighting in Vietnam and the Iran-Iraq War. Its simple design and global spread made it one of the most influential tanks of the 20th century. T-55. Developed as an improved version, this tank expanded Cold War armor into the Middle East. It fought extensively in Arab-Israeli wars and later during the Iran-Iraq War and the Gulf War. Its durability allowed it to remain combat relevant decades after introduction. T-62. Marking a shift in Soviet firepower, this tank introduced a smoothbore gun to the battlefield. It saw action in Arab-Israeli conflicts, the Iran-Iraq War, and later in the Soviet-Afghan War. While powerful, its limitations became clear as armored warfare evolved. T-72. Designed for mass production and modern combat, this tank became a Cold War staple. It fought in the Iran-Iraq War, the Gulf War, the Iraq War, and later in Syria and Ukraine. Few tanks have seen such a wide range of conflicts across different eras. M60 Patton. As a key Western counterpart, this tank entered service during the Cold War and quickly spread worldwide. It fought in the Vietnam War, multiple Arab-Israeli wars, and later in the Gulf War. Its long service reflected NATO's approach to continuous modernization. Old doctrine, new technology. Moving on to the tanks that define the transition into the 21st century. Leopard 2. Developed at the end of the Cold War, this tank emphasized firepower, protection, and advanced crew survivability. It later saw combat deployments in Afghanistan, and decades after its introduction, returned to high-intensity warfare in Ukraine. Its long service reflects the effectiveness of Western modular tank design. Challenger 1. Designed during the Cold War, this tank achieved its most famous combat record during the Gulf War. It demonstrated exceptional long-range accuracy and armor protection. Although its combat history was brief, its battlefield performance became legendary. Challenger 2. Introduced after the Cold War, this tank represented a new generation of British armor. It fought during the Iraq War and later entered combat again in Ukraine. Its heavy protection and accuracy highlighted a focus on crew survival in modern warfare. M1. Abrams entering service during the Cold War, this tank became the backbone of US armored forces. It proved itself in the Gulf War, the Iraq War, and later conflicts including Yemen and Ukraine. Continuous upgrades allowed it to remain one of the most dominant tanks of the modern era. Finally, the iron giants that served across regions, wars, and generations. Centurion introduced at the end of World War II, this tank quickly proved its value during the Korean War. It later fought extensively in Arab-Israeli conflicts and continued service in Indo-Pak wars. Its adaptability, strong gun, and upgrade potential made it one of the longest-serving tanks in modern military history. AMX-13. Designed as a lightweight and highly mobile tank, this vehicle first saw combat during the Algerian War. It later fought in Indo-Pak wars and multiple Middle Eastern conflicts. Its small size, auto-loading gun, and export success allowed it to remain relevant across very different battlefields.